Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19, Jay Sano 19. Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Jeff again coming to you from the Mindcrack server. And what are we doing today? We're going to sleep is what we're going to do today. Today I'm not exactly sure. I want to get some things tidied up. I want to take a little break from the interior of the hospital. I know it's a very slow project coming along, and some people are a little anxious for me to get working on it because of the fact that it's, it's episode number 86 right now, and it's still not done. But I just like to take my time with it and let it go. Ooh, it looks like these things are starting to grow. So let me replant my potatoes. Oh, that's a carrot. How'd you sneak in there, carrot? Let's replant these potatoes so I can get a full gamut of potatoes going over here. Because then I will start using potatoes, baked That was the weirdest sound I've ever heard. Okay, you're a lot. What is going on here? Oh yeah, I was gonna do nurse's station stuff out of this birch. I completely forgot. I should collect some of the birch while I'm sitting here. But so I know a lot of, like I said, people are anxious for me to get working on it. Well, hi zombie. Don't worry, it's coming along. It's coming along. Hope you guys like the progress that I made on it. Hope you guys like everybody's suggestions that they've done for it. Now I'm watching this video I'm making this video prior to having my last video actually published yet. It's still rendering, so I haven't gotten the comments yet on how the stairs look around the beacon and things like that. So I'm not going to do anything with that as of now. What I want to do is collect some of this wood. I think I might work on the horse stables a little bit just to finish getting that roof on there. I actually just got distracted by this birch because I forgot that I really wanted this birch for some of the nursing stations or whatever. And who knows if that's still going to be the same look with the different design that I've done now. But I do want to make sure I get this stuff collected so that I at least have it as an option and it's not just sitting here. But let's talk for a minute about snow. And we talk about snow because not only am I building a lot of the hospital out of snow, but because it's winter, because I'm actually about to leave for a wonderful ski weekend with a big group from the emergency department. We've done this every year. This will be year number 4, so the fourth annual ski trip for the emergency department. So I'm really looking forward to that. Always have such a great time on it, and I'm actually getting prepared to leave as we speak. But besides that, because I grew up in an area with snow, I grew up in Michigan. Yes, DC has snow as well, and the thing is, DC doesn't know how to handle snow. So the government shut down once earlier in the year, a couple months ago, in preparation for a snowstorm that was supposed to hit. So the government shut down. The government closed. That snowstorm never did hit. Now you got to understand, we are coming off of a time frame where the government just got off of a literal shutdown. It was closed for 3 weeks because they couldn't agree on the budget. So we'd already lost 3 weeks worth of work due to that whole government shutdown. Government straight up closed because of the anticipation of the snowstorm. And they do this, I will tell you, they do this for good reason. However, it's getting a little out of hand. I guess once last year, I think it was, they had not shut down the government when there was a snowstorm planned. Went to work in the morning, things were good apparently, and then the snow just started to pour. And they basically released the government at noon. And you do it. Oh man, did I not go through and fix any of this stuff? Well, that was dumb. They did that for the purpose of, they want people to be safe. So they said, get out of here before before it gets too crazy and people can't drive home and it's unsafe conditions, etc., etc. Apparently, the government works in a staggered system out here. They kind of have this almost this flex schedule, because so many people, and flex schedule is the wrong word to use for it, because they do have a flex schedule, which is something completely different. But they have like staggered start and end times. Essentially, they have a group of people that are supposed to start. So many percent of the government are supposed to start at 6, so many at 7, so many at 8, so many at 9, etc. And it's to alleviate congestion on the roads, because not only is DC just already extremely bad for traffic and things like that, but if you had everybody in the government, which, you know, so many percentage of DC people work for the government, that it would just be ridiculous. So, but they shut the government down at noon apparently, and it just caused mass chaos and delays and hours and hours and hours worth of commuting, because not only was it snowing, but they let everybody go at the exact same time, and it caused a problem. So they do things like they do for good reason. They preemptively had closed it earlier in the year, a couple months ago. The problem is, a snowstorm never hit. There was zero snow that ever hit the ground. So all of a sudden you have the entire U.S. government shut down preemptively for a snowstorm that didn't even hit. And, you know, the government runs by our tax dollars. So, I mean, I used to work for the government. My girlfriend works for the government. My roommate works for the government. I'm not against the government by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really annoying to me when I'm getting up to go to work, and I work at a hospital, so it's a different setting. Like, I understand. My hospital's not going to close because of a snowstorm. I've accepted that. I understand that. I'm not looking to get myself closed. But when you see that nothing happens, and that is the tallest tree ever. Did somebody like plant one up there? Like, I don't get what happened. But when you're shut down, when my tax dollars are going to pay your salary, and I know that's a common saying that people use. It is true in a way, but it's not like my tax dollars directly are going to pay my girlfriend's salary. It's not like that. It's in general, like the government runs off of tax money. I pay taxes, therefore I do pay government worker salaries. Government workers also pay their own salaries because they pay taxes as well. So I'm not trying to, you know, leave them out of this. So, but it's really frustrating to me when you close down the government after already having been closed down in a shutdown and nothing ends up happening. So the other day, there was a snowstorm, planned snowstorm coming. Woke up in the morning. I didn't even know this. Julia texts me and says, hey, you know, the government shut down today, so I'll be at home if you need to do anything. And I was like, I looked out my window because I was already at work. And I looked out my window and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, there is nothing on the ground right now. She's like, oh, yeah, they plan on it being like, you know, big snowstorm. Which, and to be honest, there was snow. There was a decent amount of snow. Oh, I gotta get up there. There was a decent amount of snow hit. It would have made a treacherous drive for anybody who is not used to driving in the snow. So turned out it was okay that it was shut down in a sense. It was okay, but for the concept of just being like, okay, government can just shut down because there's going to be snow. Like, it's not like it's a school. It's not like you're keeping children safe. It is what runs our country. It's kind of annoying in those ways, but that's my own just personal feelings on it. But so I was a little peeved yet again, because it's like, really, the government shut down, you know, again, because of this a potential snowstorm. Like, you've already called the shutdown before any snow has hit the ground. But like I already explained exactly why they did that, and it was because of what happened a couple years back. But that's actually only part of my concern. So government shuts down, whatever, accept it. I don't approve of it. I don't appreciate it. You know, it just seems like a lot of lost work. I've never worked for a company like when I worked for Ford. When I worked for the, you know, Ford Motor Company, we didn't shut down because of snow. Yes, they could heavily state that commuter options are a good source of what to do, but that's, you know, and the government does that sometimes too. They actually will say sometimes, government, status open but unscheduled telework acceptable. Like, that is a great way to go about things because that keeps people working at home. They don't have to go in. They weren't scheduled to necessarily telework, but they don't have to go in, and now you can, not make them be on the roads, etc. if you feel like it's going to be unsafe for them to do so. So besides that, yeah, Ford never closed, whatever. Government, the way it works. So the next morning, because there was, like I said, a decent amount of snowfall that started at like 11 and really picked up throughout the day and probably went until about 5 p.m. somewhere in that time frame, and we got 4 or 5 inches. That's not a crazy amount for people who live in a snow area like me living in Michigan. 4 or 5 inches is no big deal, but they don't have the infrastructure out here to take care of it like a place that gets it all the time. They don't have the mass amounts of plows and salt trucks and things like that. So it's a whole different thing. It'd be like if it snowed in Arizona. Arizona probably doesn't own a single plow because it's something they're never used to. They get a small dusting of snow, they're probably shutting things down because they don't know what to do. They can't take care of it. So, I mean, that's why things work the way they are. But the next morning, government was on a 2-hour delay. It was on a 2-hour delay so they could still try to get some of the roads taken care of, make the commute a little bit safer for people, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Yes, of course, I still have to go to work. I don't get to deal with the 2-hour delay, so I still have to fight the, quote-unquote treacherous roads. Different, work in a hospital. Understand. But I'm driving to work, 7 a.m., time I normally go to work. I guess I'm normally at work by 7 a.m. I was running a couple minutes late, so I left my house just after 7. So, I'm driving. I actually like it when the government shut down or delayed because the traffic is so much lighter for me to get to work, but that's a whole different reason for liking it. But I'm driving down the street, and what do I see? But I see a tow truck towing cars out of the spots that are not supposed to be parked in after 7 a.m. Like, a lot of parking enforcement starts at 7 a.m. And I'm thinking, okay, 80%, let's just throw figuratively a number out there, but it's probably relatively accurate, but 80% of Washington, D.C. works for the government. The government's on a 2-hour delay, so people who normally go to work at 7 are not going to work till 9. People who normally go to work at 6 are not going to work until 8. You get my drift. You can add 2 hours together. You are a bastard. Yeah, look at that. One shot. The money shot. No, I guess that's really not a money shot. That really didn't fit the saying. But, oh, come on. But you're going to start towing cars, and you're going to enforce normal parking. Why do you think parking is that way? If there's a spot that's you're only allowed to be in at 7 till 7 a.m. I used to park in those spots all the time because I had to be to work at 7 a.m. It didn't matter. I knew I was going to be out of there in time. If you take the biggest industry that Washington, D.C. has to offer, and I say industry loosely, but the government being the industry, if you take that industry, you put it on a 2-hour delay, but you still have parking enforcement going out and towing and ticketing people's cars for being in a place that they're not supposed to be, when the city's supposed to start functioning 2 hours later than normal. I have a major problem with that. I'm sure that so many people who were supposed to go to work at 7 went to work to go get in their car to be at work at 9 and were like, where the hell is my car at? Why on earth would you think it's acceptable to start towing and ticketing cars to make more money for the city, the Washington, D.C. government itself, not the national government, the District of Columbia's government? You think that that's acceptable to do? Technically, your government was shut down as well. Well, I guess really not, because it's probably a federal thing. But I have a major problem with that. I have a problem with the government just arbitrarily shutting down on days, because of a potential snowstorm. But I have a bigger problem with making it so... I mean, what do you expect people are going to do? If I went out, if I parked in an area, and I know people are going to throw out the argument to me, but Jeff, they just need to know where they parked and go move their car at 7 a.m. Okay. If I was supposed to go move my car at 7 a.m., I would be taking it to work because I can no longer park in that spot that I was on, but I'd be moving it to take it to work. There's not enough parking that is available and not in an illegal parking zone. After that point, when they turn a road that's normally a road that you're allowed to park on into a road that you can't park on, they do it to alleviate traffic problems. They do certain sides of the road going into the city in the morning, certain sides going out of the city in the afternoons. They change it to open up more lanes of traffic to get through. If you have less people going to work and a significant amount less people going to work at a certain time, they don't have anywhere that they can go. They can't move their car anywhere. The first 10 people that, the first 10 people that got out the door, sure, they have the ability to go try to move their car really quick, get one of those spots that's still open, but then you got everybody else who's there. Normally, they're all at work at this point. I have a major problem with this, and I don't know if... I didn't get my car towed. I still had to be to work. I understand that. I'm not mad because something happened to me or to my vehicle. It's because I just watched it happening to other people's vehicles. It was crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking this to the extreme, but I tried to actually, I was looking at the back of the tow truck I was following, and of course, the back of the tow truck didn't have a number on it. I was going to call the government and be like, look, why are you towing cars right now when the government's on a shutdown, a 2-hour delay? Because when the government's on shutdown, I don't believe they have parking enforcement. I didn't see anybody getting towed when the government was completely shut down. So how can you think it's going to be any different for a 2-hour delay? You delay your parking enforcement by 2 hours in the morning because that's what's going to make the city run. I'd be pissed if I found my car was no longer there. Like, I'd be extremely pissed. Went to go to work and my car was gone. Ugh. Oh, anyways, guys, I know, big rant from Jeff. Not abnormal for me to rant about something. And this being something that doesn't even directly affect me, I still ranted about it anyway. So, hope you guys enjoyed the rant, because I unfortunately have to go finish getting packed up for the ski trip, the wonderful ski trip. I'm looking forward to it. Get some snowboarding going in, having some fun with some people that I don't work with anymore, since I don't work in the emergency department. I support it, but a lot of the people that go are night shift people. It was a big night shift thing when I was on the night shift. That's how it kind of started with, and I haven't been able to see the night shift people in a long time because I'm in a job that primarily works days. So either way, I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy the week, and I almost said week. I'm not gone for that long. Hope you guys enjoy the weekend, and I will see you upon my return. I'll steal your pants too.